A very important piece of equipment in the warehouse and material handling areas is the electric pallet jack. It's an economical and versatile unit designed to move stacks of materials from one place to another safely and without injury or product damage. Because it's easy to use and provides such durable service, it's natural to take them for granted. But there are basic safety rules and operating procedures required when using this type of equipment. Maintenance of the equipment is equally important. This short program provides some basic safety tips and maintenance procedures, but we can't list all the rules and operating procedures. Be sure to follow your organization's policies and procedures when using or operating this type of equipment. Each electric pallet jack manufacturer has different operating procedures and safety rules, so be sure to read and understand the rules for each type of equipment used. Let's begin with a basic understanding of the electric pallet jack. Keep in mind each manufacturer's vehicle may be slightly different than the ones we use in our demonstration, but the basic principles apply to most equipment. The vehicle itself is composed of directional and speed control levers, horn, lift and lower, and high-speed controls, AT bar support handle, battery, pallet forks for the load wheels and tires, a skid runner, rider platform, drive unit cover and steering, and brake control handles. You'll become familiar with all the controls and levers through on-the-job training by your supervisor and as you gain experience with this equipment. It's important to know and understand the operating rules, maintenance procedures, and all the safety rules used with this type of equipment. Take a look at the data plate on your specific vehicle. It will provide some specific data about the vehicle, such as serial number, make, model, but more importantly, it will provide the maximum safe load capacity of the vehicle. Never exceed the safe lifting capacity of the vehicle at any time. Let's briefly look at some basic operating rules for this type of equipment. Number 1, know your equipment. Do not operate the equipment until you have been trained and authorized by your company. Read all warnings and instructions in the operator's manual, the information on the vehicle's data plate, and other areas. If your vehicle is found to be in need of repair, defective, or in any way unsafe to operate, the vehicle should be taken out of services until it has been restored to safe operating condition. Number 2, no riders. Passengers are not allowed to ride on this type of equipment. Be sure you never permit anyone to stand in the area where the load is being positioned or deposited, as foot injuries can easily occur. Number 3, make sure your loads are stable and are not stacked too high. Loose or unstable loads can fall and cause serious injury. Use special care when handling long, high or wide loads to avoid losing the load, striking bystanders, or tipping the vehicle. Carry the load flush against the load stop. Number 4, center your load. Before lifting, be sure loads are centered and forks are completely under the load. Of course, never overload the vehicle. Do not hit a bump or anything with the ends of your forks, as this can damage the vehicle. Never lift a load with only one fork engaged. Number 5, keep the load low to the floor. Travel with the load or lifting mechanism low to keep the center of gravity low, but make sure the load is lifted high enough to ensure adequate floor clearance. Never lift or lower the load while the vehicle is in motion. Number 6, avoid sudden movement. Start, stop, travel, steer, and brake smoothly. Use special care when traveling without the load, as the risk of overturning this vehicle is greater when unloaded. Number 7, exercise caution on ramps and inclines. Travel slowly and do not angle or turn on ramps. Always travel with the load downhill when using pallet jacks. Be extremely cautious when operating the vehicle near the edge of a loading dock or ramp. Number 8, secure bridge plates. Drive carefully and slowly across dock boards and bridge plates. Never exceed these dock boards or bridge plates' rated capacity and make sure they are secured before driving on these plates. Number 9, do not operate this equipment with greasy hands or shoes. It's too easy to slip off the controls and create an unsafe condition. Number 10, come to a complete stop before changing directions. Number 11, Continuing to operate either the drive or hydraulic controls in a situation where the truck or load will not move will cause damage to the electric motor. Number 12. Do not push extra loads or other pallet jacks. Pushing another vehicle or extra loads is damaging to the vehicle's working parts. Never allow your vehicle to be pushed or towed by another vehicle. Should a truck become disabled and require moving, notify management for the proper procedures. Number 13. When traveling, keep your hands, feet, and other body parts inside the running lines of the vehicle. Always look in the direction of travel and keep a clear view of the path of travel. When visibility is impaired, operate the vehicle with the opposite end in the travel direction and use caution. Be careful of drive-end swing when turning while operating the vehicle in reverse. This could result in damage to material or equipment, specifically to the drive end of your vehicle. Another very important safety tip is to keep your feet away from the front skirt and rider platform when maneuvering the vehicle. Number 14. Before entering trucks or trailers, be certain the brakes on the truck or trailer are applied and the wheel chocks are in place. If trailers are not coupled to a tractor, supports may be needed to prevent upending or corner dipping of the trailer. Inspect the flooring of trucks, trailers, and rail cars for breaks and weaknesses before driving into them. Make sure you know the weight of the load and vehicle compared to the maximum load rating of the floor onto which you are driving. Number 15. When approaching cross aisles, slow down, sound your horn, and if vision is obstructed, keep to the right side. Operate the truck under all conditions at a speed that will permit it to be brought to a stop in a safe manner. Of course, yield the right-of-way to all pedestrians. Number 16. When parking your vehicle for an extended period of time, be sure the lifting mechanism is lowered, controls are placed in neutral, and the brake is applied. Shut off the power and disconnect the battery connection. Keep your vehicle clear of exits and access to stairs and fire equipment, and don't block aisles. Number 17. Speeding. Electric pallet jacks don't have speedometers. Generally, the rule of thumb is to go slow. If you're going fast and have to make a sudden stop, you can be thrown off the vehicle. The vehicle appears to be lightweight. However, when you're operating the vehicle, it has a tremendous amount of force and weight, and if you run into a person or stationary object or another piece of moving equipment, the damage and injuries can be quite substantial. Don't speed. Go slow and be prepared to stop. On some electric pallet jacks, they have several safety features you should look for and become familiar with for safety. A reversing switch may be located on the T-bar. This reversing switch is provided to protect the operator from being pinned between the truck and an immovable object. When pushed, this button will reverse the direction of the truck away from the operator whenever the steering arm is in the operating position. Many models have an automatic brake designed to stop the vehicle when the handle is moved to a completely vertical position or a completely horizontal position. If you're operating a walk-only type vehicle, then no one should ever ride on this type of vehicle. They have special features and are not designed for riders or passengers. Each manufactured vehicle has special features and requirements, and these basic safety tips may or may not apply to your equipment. Use the manufacturer's safety recommendations, operating instructions, and other information as the basis for operating your vehicle safely. Follow your company's operating rules and instructions. Right now, let's discuss briefly how to inspect your equipment before you use it. We won't discuss anything about batteries, as this is covered in another training program. However, there are some basic maintenance checks that operators should conduct before operating any electric pallet jack equipment. Before each shift, every 8 hours, it is the operator's responsibility to carry out the following checks and inspections before beginning operation. Do not operate the vehicle if it is in need of repair. If it's in an unsafe condition, remove the key and report the condition to the proper authority. If the truck becomes unsafe in any way while you're operating it, stop operating the equipment and report the unsafe condition to your supervisor. Okay, let's quickly check the vehicle. Make sure the load backrest extension and any other safety devices are properly attached and in good working condition. Make sure capacity, safety, and warning plates and decals are installed and visible. Inspect the vehicle for damage that may have occurred during the previous shift. Inspect the vehicle before and after your shift for any signs of external leaking, such as the battery or hydraulic system. Operate the service parking brakes, all hydraulic controls, accelerator switch, forward and reverse directional switch, and steering. Make sure they operate freely and return to their proper positions. Inspect the condition of the tires. Inspect the forks for cracks or broken parts. Test the horn, lights, and all other accessories. Make sure they are properly mounted and in good working order. Operate the vehicle and make sure all gauges and meters are functioning properly. In other words, inspect all areas of the vehicle, all accessories, and verify that there are no leaks, damage, or defects. That's your job and responsibility. This equipment will serve you safely and efficiently. However, it's important that you maintain the equipment in a safe and serviceable condition at all times. Manual pallet jacks require the same care, handling, and operating as do electric pallet jacks. Inspect the equipment before you use it and make sure all the safety and operating features are working properly. Never, under any circumstances, should you use the pallet jack as a scooter or in any way ride on this equipment. Do not carry passengers on the equipment. When going up or down ramps, the operator must remain upgrade. This means the load will be carried downgrade with the operator upgrade. The reason for this is quite simple. If the load or the pallet jack becomes a runaway from the weight or the angle of the ramp, the operator will be protected by being upgrade. The rule is different for forklifts, as safety rules require the load to be upgrade. The most important consideration in using any type of equipment is to use your good judgment and don't take chances. The time you try to save by speeding, taking shortcuts, or not following the rules isn't worth it. One accident will wipe out any benefit you get by taking chances, so don't take chances. It's that simple. Thank you.